Hi everyone, this is Bramble, and today I want to reflect on my 2024 goals and my 2025 goals. So, for 2024, some of the things I set out to do was work on my muscle up, develop a better beauty routine, stick to a workout routine, read. I wanted to learn more and learn a language specifically. I wanted to gain more friendships, and I wanted 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Those were some of the goals that I think went overall really well this year. The ones that did not were also friendships. I definitely did Bumble, and I used Facebook. And overall, it was a mild success. It wasn't great, but I did do it, and I tried very hard, but you can only do so much convincing of people to go out and hang out and do things with you. So I think to improve on that is I need to just get a hobby, or maybe go to some community events that I specifically relate to, and hopefully doing those things consistently, I will make friends that way. Some other things I did not do was I wanted to create a lifestyle for myself, and that was by trying new activities, going to places. Specifically, I wanted to do more art, and I wanted to try new sports, and with that, I wanted to do something new at least once a month. But with funds, that just didn't really happen, and I really fell off the wayside when it came to summer, just because it was so hot and I didn't want to be outside. So then when fall came around, I still was kind of in my lazy girl era and kind of just stayed inside most of the time, and I really want to switch that up this year. And I wanted to do more Instagram photos and reels more consistently, and that didn't happen either. It's definitely easier for me to film videos instead of Instagram. I feel like that takes a little bit more thought because I need to be a little bit more creative and quirky. The next one was I wanted to get new equipment to upgrade for my channel and learn music production. Neither of those happened. I didn't learn a language this last year. I also wanted to improve on my cuticles. I am a skin picker, and it started off pretty good, but the only way I really stopped is if I constantly had something around my fingers, and that's just not conducive to everyday life. And that's a lot of wasted band-aids and bandages. I did figure out something new though to help that, and that was Carousel, the one they use for your feet, and then the Carousel nail oil. And then I've been doing that, and then putting on moisturizer on top of that, and then wrapping my hands in gloves. And that so far has made a really big improvement, and it's helping me to not want to mess with them as much because they're not as dry. And I've tried like other things like the CeraVe healing ointment, and that has helped, but it doesn't do the way Carousel does. It exfoliates and moisturizes, and it really helps with the dry cuticles. And so they look much better. They're probably the best they've ever been, but I think it'll still take, if not a month, but maybe 3 months. As long as I keep them moisturized, I won't pick. So it's more of like the day hours that are more difficult, of course. So hopefully, as long as I bring something and keep reapplying, maybe I'll finally get over this bad habit that I've had since like the age of 12. My other goal was I wanted to get down to 20% body fat, and that did not happen. I basically was at a stalemate. I'm currently around 28. So I don't know. I've been trying with a practitioner, and even with me working out, weightlifting 5 days a week, a minimum of 3, that has not helped. I did go off of my diet for about 2 months, and I did stay relatively similar, but I did go up a little bit on my muscle and went up a little bit on my fat, but it wasn't too bad. So I don't know if I just need to see someone who is a little bit more educated in that field than the person I currently am or not, or if there's something wrong with my hormones, but tracking my protein and all of that hasn't helped. The only thing I can think of is maybe I'm just not active enough. And it's either that I'm eating not enough or I'm still eating too much, and all of it's just so confusing. So I think I'm just kind of like at the point of, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And just keep doing what I love doing. And I love exercising. I just kind of wanted to feel a little bit more athletic by being a little bit more shredded, but I don't know. It might not be in the cards for me. I also wanted to do yoga, tarot, breath work, meditation, and prayer more consistently. That also didn't really happen consistently. Maybe once a month. I'd rather it happen at least once a week. But that's reviewing 2024. Now there are some wins. I did become comfortable with myself this year. I feel like I did evolve. My word of the year for 2024 was evolution, and I feel like I have gotten a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident in myself. I tried a lot of new things, and I think it just was a really good year for me. I felt like I grew a lot. I also feel like because of all the growth and reflecting, I am finally at a point where I think I know what I want my style to be. I think for my whole life, I think it did revolve around trends quite a bit, because you want to fit in and feel good about yourself, or you wanted to be different, and I did that usually in the way of androgyny, or I did that in the way of being edgy. And then sometimes I would want to be really sexy. And I feel like for me, I think I know what cuts really do look good on me, and it's stuff that I've sometimes did wear, but then something else came up, and then you just toss it to the wayside. And so one of the things this year is I don't want to be on trends that much. I want to just do what I like, and if something comes up that's trendy that I already love, or maybe I see and I do love it, then cool, I'll partake. But I just want to wear what I feel comfortable in and makes me feel like my best self. And overall, I feel like the person I always wanted to be. And maybe that's just because I'm now 30, but I feel like just not everyone gets to that point, even if, oh, I'm 30 now. Of course you should feel that way, but I think if you've always reflected and really sat down and thought through everything and just reflected on yourself and stood back and be more objective, it can really just change your life. And I think one of the things that really helped was Kibbe, because helps you look at yourself a little bit more objectively. It's like, this is just a shape. We're all beautiful, and we all have these different structures that can be enhanced and become more harmonious with what we have. And of course, you can not do that, and that's also great. But learning to be more objective and not like, oh my God, I hate this part of myself and stuff like that, I think really started happening this year. And I really hope with all the creators that are coming out with different information on body types and stuff like that, that also helps you view yourself more objectively. Things that I want to do for 2025, I put in some stuff into ChatGPT, and it helped me create a plan for myself for this year, and it helped me create like some KPI metrics and stuff like that for like my career. And I feel like this is going to be a more career focused year. I have a lot of creative endeavors that I want to focus on, and it's all stuff that I really enjoy and love. One of the things that I love about YouTube is the research portion of it, and learning things and then taking those ideas and then applying it to my life, and how it can be helpful for others as well. And I don't know, I just love researching and organizing it into something that's very applicable. And so I don't know how quickly these things will come into fruition, but I want to work on a book idea. I don't know if it'll really be a book or maybe just turn into a short story, but regardless, I think it'll be a fun creative endeavor for myself. And then there were a couple of workshop ideas that I had, one in particular that I want to focus on, and then if there's others that branch out from it, cool. My YouTube and music as well. The music won't happen as quickly because I don't have the equipment, but there's some other things that I can do before that anyways, planning and refining my lyrics and stuff like that. And I could possibly mess around with tutorials, and so I have a general idea of how it works, but that will definitely be quite an endeavor because I want to try to learn the music production software so then I can create music myself. I messed around with that like over 10 years ago, so it will mostly be from scratch, so we'll see how that goes. Again, regardless of anything, all this is fun. Learning new things is important. It slows down time, it works your brain, and it makes you feel fulfilled. And having challenges in life helps give you purpose and ways to focus your energy. And it's very important to be learning new things, challenging your body. It's what makes you stay and feel young. So some of the other things is saving money, budgeting, so we can continue renovating our future home. We're trying to convert an outbuilding into a house, so it just requires so much money because it's the property that we have is old, the main house is old, and things keep popping up, and we're not able to have our own house yet. So a little difficult, but hopefully we could be living in it this year. It definitely won't be finished this year. Because of our lack of funds, it probably could take up to 5 years to really be done, but hopefully not. So some of the things that I recommend doing when you're setting goals is, what's your purpose in life? And I feel like for me, I would love to have a legacy of creativity and helping others. And that could be done in so many ways, but learning what you feel your purpose is and how it will possibly transcend and change throughout your lifetime is such a great thing to have to fall back on and to inspire you whenever things get difficult. One of the other things that I started in 2024 was I wanted to create kind of like my own Bible. Whenever I'm learning and researching, whether that's spirituality, philosophy, or even just like literature, whenever something resonates, I'm writing it down as like different things. So I have like, what's my order of importance in life, my values, my beliefs, and it's just like a small Google Doc, but it is something I've been really enjoying, and it helps you think about different things in new ways and help you develop your own values and ethics. And I think it's very important to kind of separate yourself from maybe other dogma at times, because it can get really restrictive and boxed in. And this is a way of you checking in on yourself with whatever you are doing, and if it's something that is fulfilling and fits you personally. Some of the personal things that I would like to do this year is having outings with friends at least once every 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully that is not too difficult, but obviously I would love to see people every week, but I know everyone is busy and that's just not possible all the time. So I thought maybe that might be a little bit more possible. One of the things that I want to continue working on is my muscle ups, and with that, I was finally able to do that last year. I've wanted to do that since high school. I even had dreams of it because it just looks amazing and so freeing to be able to do something like that with your body. And now this is an assisted muscle up. Definitely not, I'm not able to do it without assistance yet. Maybe the next couple of months. I am dealing with some injuries that I'm seeing a physical therapist for, so may delay it a little bit longer. I think that was one of the most amazing experiences I ever had, was actually hitting a goal that I thought might not ever happen. And I just did a few like things in my workout routine that really, I felt like unlocked it for me. And obviously consistently, I've probably, this is the most consistent I've worked out and the hardest I've worked out ever. And it's amazing just a few things, how if you're dedicated, it will happen. I also want to be working on hand balancing. I haven't really found as good of techniques to really help me advance in that. I've always been able to do handstands, but I want to be able to control them better, hold them longer, and so that needs to be probably a little bit more research so I can figure out how I can achieve that. I want to build up my mental resilience more. I want to do more art and have more active hobbies. Again, that was my goal for last year, so I need to figure out how I can do that while getting my other things done. It might be something that's more on the back burner, or I just need to dedicate some time slots, and maybe time blocking might be something I need to do to fit everything in, because I know for me, I probably muddle with all my hours by procrastinating and taking longer on certain things that don't take as long. So I'm thinking that might be something that's helpful, and just scheduling. The hardest part is actually just doing what you scheduled. So that's one of the things that I'm thinking about doing. to help me achieve some of these goals. So for Andrew Huberman, he recommended your hardest task be the first 8 hours of the day. So if working out is the hardest thing for you to do, then you want to do it within the first 8 hours of waking. And so for me, my schedule would be like 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. my hardest tasks. And then the next like 7 hours, so for me it would be 2 to 8 p.m. are more creative tasks. Then the rest of the hours that you're awake are relaxation and reflective tasks. And he also recommends you need to commit to it for at least 21 days because that helps with the neural reprogramming of your mind. So whether that's just 5 minutes or 2 minutes, I know Atomic Habits, they recommend like 2 minutes starting out on whatever you're doing. Just gotta start, and then you have to track it. If you don't track it, you won't realize that you're doing it, and then you might give up because you're like, oh, you missed like a day or two, but you already had like 15 days in. It's okay if you mess up. You just need to get back on it. So tracking is really helpful because you'll see the bigger picture. It'll zoom out and you'll see, oh, I've been mostly consistent like 70% of the time, and you should congratulate yourself. Now they also recommend you want to identify with this habit. So you're like, I am an athlete, I am a writer, whatever you are trying to achieve, you want to identify with the outcome of your habit. And then you want to do cue, routine, and reward. So if you want to work out, you should get your workout clothes ready so you don't have to think about it in the morning. You just see it and you put it on, do the routine, whether that's just like 10 minutes because you're just starting working out. And then you want to reward yourself with something, and something that's obviously healthy, and like listening to your fave podcast. I know they generally probably don't recommend like rewarding yourself with like food, things that aren't like, I would say don't reward yourself with your like most addictive habits. So maybe it would be best to not reward yourself with like shopping or food. I know for me that would probably not be good. And if it was, it should be on after completing like several things as like an end goal. Maybe for after the 21 days of like me doing this one thing, maybe then I'll buy something or reward myself with something like a nice restaurant or whatever. Because those are two of my more addictive things that I've probably overly enjoyed in the past in a non-healthy way. So for me, the rewards are going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm not 100% sure what to reward myself with. The only thing I can think of is maybe like taking a break and maybe watching something that I enjoy, like maybe a YouTube video. They also recommend habit stacking. So if my habit is to meditate, which it is, you want to habit stack. So right after you brush your teeth, then I'll meditate. And you want to make your good habits easy and your bad habits more difficult to achieve. So place your headphones out. So then you already have it. You don't have to go and get them out of your bag and get out of bed and all these things. And so you want to do it in whatever way that makes it look and feel good. So you want to set up your environment to be conducive to these good habits. And then you want to take these bad habits and make them a lot more difficult, whether that's placing things higher up on a shelf or further back and stuff like that. So more accessible things are, the more you will do it. The other thing would be to anchor your habits to your purpose. And so if you already have things that you feel like will help you on your journey towards that purpose, then you want to think of them in that way. Like my quest is to get to this, so then these are like my mini quests. These are the challenges along the journey for me to achieve this higher purpose of this career of being a lifestyle coach where you help maybe hundreds of thousands of people. And then one of the other things that they recommended was if then. So if you do miss your scheduled workout, for example, then you'll do something that's shorter instead. So like if I miss it, then I'll just do 10 push-ups when I get home, and then I can check it off and just say I'm done. Like if you can't do your meditation, it just doesn't work with today's schedule, then maybe you'll just take a couple of deep breaths at the end of the day, or maybe just during the day to help you relax. And you really want to be reviewing your progress. This will help keep you motivated. You want to see that you're doing it, review areas that aren't working, and then you can figure out why, and then you can alter it, or maybe let's pass on it for right now and focus on the other ones that are working. Like for me, some of the ones that were a little bit more difficult to achieve obviously didn't happen, but I ended up focusing on some other ones that became more my main focus. And you want to continue tracking your progress and have some sort of metrics to look back on to help you also stay motivated. Some people need accountability. So if you have a friend or a group that you can join, that is also helpful. Some things that helped me achieve the goals of 2024 was I worked out at lunch. Having that break in between my day not only made my outlook for my job a lot better, it made me feel better. I was able to be more productive, and it broke up my day, and overall I just felt so much better. I ended up joining Audible, Libby, and Hoopla. And without listening to audiobooks, I don't think I would have really consistently read as much as I did. I could probably get through a book every week because of it. And I now love reading. Now I wouldn't say I'm technically reading, but I've been really enjoying it, listening. It's helped me think of a way of speaking and engaging with the world by listening to the voice actors. And then I can also imagine myself as that character when I'm just like lying down, closing my eyes. It's almost like a very intense visualization meditation, and I've really enjoyed listening to audiobooks, especially at night. And I just don't think I could ever go back. I don't think I could not have my Audible subscription. Obviously, if you can't pay for that, there is Libby and Hoopla. I use all three. I only do like the one book that I get from Audible, and then there's all the other free books that are included. So if there's just like nothing available, I will like listen to something that's free on Audible. But there's just so much available through Libby and Hoopla. Hoopla is a little bit more difficult. It's all based upon your library and what they set as their limit. And so I had before I got a different county, the one before, I couldn't check out anything from Hoopla. It was the most annoying thing. I could only do the like flex books and whatnot, and there's just not a lot of those either. But now that I switched to this other county, I can get everything immediately, and it's so nice. They don't have as wide of a selection as Libby though, so I don't use them as much as Libby. But I highly recommend it. You can learn anything you want through the books by doing nonfiction, or you can immerse yourself in beautiful visualizations through fiction books. So for my plan, I wanted to break it up in what Andrew Huberman recommended through hardest to creative and then relaxing. And so for me, my hardest would be probably getting to my new step count goal. I saw my metrics from last year and I average about 5,000, which is very little. But I do have a desk job and I stopped doing my morning walks. And so because of that, my steps went down. So I want to try to bring them back up. So my goal is 8,000. I just need to figure out how much I need to like get up and like just go for like, I don't know, 2-minute walk and then come back to the desk and see how I can do that. Or if I just need to actually get my butt out of bed in the morning and just go for a walk. Continue with my 30-minute workouts. Some of the things I need to do are I need to actually start researching social media trends. That's just not something I really did at all. I just kind of did whatever I wanted to do, but I would like to optimize this platform a little bit better and my other social medias. So I should start becoming my own marketing person. So I need to become more savvy in that field. And that would be through SEO and Google AdWords as well. And I need to be consistently video planning and researching, which isn't too hard for me, but I think I was mostly doing things on a whim and kind of just having them in my head, but I would like to plan things out, I think, a little bit more ahead of time. Then that will be between 7 to 2. Now my creative, I'm hoping that I can do that between, that's between 2 to 8 for me. So that would just be like hobbies, I think, for me. So, and that would probably only be on the weekend, though I kind of consider some of the research realm of YouTube a bit more of my creativity as well, because I feel like it kind of expands my mind. It makes me think in other ways. So if I don't get it done between 7 to 2, it can also be done between that 2 to 8 time, I think, for me. And then for my evening, I wanted to just keep it really simple. I had like way too many things. And so that for me, I wanted to bump that up, even though the 7-hour window is 2 to 8. My relaxation time will start like at 7:30, if not 7. And then the latest would probably be till 10. But I generally go to bed between 8 to 9. So it doesn't give me that much time to do the creative or relaxing stuff in the evenings. So I want to try journaling more. I need to do something that's really simple and easy, which I was doing, but then I fell off again to the wayside. So I really feel like I need something that is more aesthetically pleasing, and it makes me feel really happy and engaged when I engage with it. It's kind of crazy how much like something that's beautiful makes me want to engage with it more, but I think we're all just wired in that way. So making things beautiful, I think, will help. And I want to try to make my own journal, which is something I worked on last year, but I'm trying to figure out how to get it to print in a way that will be good, and that will work for me. And that's the part that I'm not really sure how to fully do. That's something I need to flesh out more in my spare time, and then just meditate. So I'm hoping those will just be maybe 5 minutes each, and then on weekends I could go on a little bit more depth. Now, my word of the year, I decided is going to be devotion. Last year was evolution, and I felt like I did a lot that really helped me to become who I am today. But this year, I think it's all about devoting my time to me and my endeavors and my goals, and to really commit and actually become proud of myself and my achievements. I feel like I've failed myself a lot growing up by giving up and not trying, like just afraid of failure, and so then you don't try, or you fail once and then you don't want to do it again. And that's not how life works. I want to have a growth mindset, and I want to just keep going. So I'm devoting myself. It doesn't matter if it still fails. I am going to keep going and continue developing myself and devoting myself to growth and my purpose. And I have a lot of things in the works to continue fleshing that out, but that just takes time and stimulating my mind and figuring all that out. And I love doing that. It's just that, yeah, I work 8 hours a day, and then it takes at least 1-2 more hours of my time to get to and from work and per day. And yes, we all have the same 24 hours, but it all depends on how flexible your work is and how automated your other things are in your life, like cooking and cleaning and kids, if you have them, and how old they are and how much help you have. It's definitely not the same for everyone. My 24 hours is different from your 24 hours. And some people may only have certain times where they can do those things, whether that's waking up earlier to get it done, taking your lunch break and doing the things that you want to achieve, or staying up later, or not going home and doing some other things right after work to get your goals done and completed. That's like the only times. If you have like the regular like 9 to 5, or sometimes that's even 9 to 6, or even longer depending on your work shift. So it's definitely difficult for us regular people. Now, another person who is all about productivity really recommended revisiting your goals each quarter. Obviously every day, but planning your goals for those 3 months. So maybe having just 3 to 4 goals in the first quarter that you focus on, get those habits developed, and then maybe decide on other habits the next 3 months while still maintaining those. Or you can always alter them if you don't like them, or they don't end up really fitting with your life. Obviously, you don't need to be doing what everyone else is doing, so you just have to figure out what works for you. But definitely not overwhelming yourself is the most important part. Now, another thing I recommend is visiting the YouTuber Joe Club. She had a ChatGPT prompt to use to help plan out your next year. It focuses on 3 years, but then it gives you the KPI metrics for the 12 months. And mostly it's, I think, really great for your career, but you can use it for your personal life as well. I use that to help me figure out how to plan what I should be doing for each of the months, mostly for my career. On my other personal side, I didn't think I needed it as much. I kind of had what I wanted to do already planned, which is just 8,000 steps. Again, continue doing 30 minutes of some form of exercise every day. And that will be on my recovery days, maybe just stretching or just walking. I don't want to be like obviously intense every single day. Then meditating. I'll probably add journaling and maybe hobbies I think, later. I think I just need to refocus on these main things, and then after that gets settled, I can reevaluate after the 21 days or the 3 months, whichever you prefer, and figure out how I want to go from there and what I want to add on. So overall, 2024 was a really good year for me. There was a lot of growth, there was a lot of difficulty. I felt like I needed to reflect a lot more on being compassionate to myself and to others. I definitely tested my patience a lot, and hopefully with this year focusing on myself and devoting myself to me and my goals and creative endeavors, that I will continue to grow and also have a really good year in 2025. If you're interested in spirituality, this is something you could also make goals for as well. For me, I just want to be focusing on, I think, on meditation right now, and then I'll be adding some other things. But Ivy the Occultist had a good video where she talked about like numerology, and then tarot cards and stuff that you can use to also help you reflect. That is something I also ended up doing, and I want to incorporate that, I think, a little bit more routinely. But I really liked the numerology to see what the whole next year could be like. So that'll be interesting to see if it ends up being like what it says. So I really hope this was very helpful for you guys, and that your 2025 will bring you lots of blessings and peace. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.